What's up guys, Creighton here from LogicLounge.com. Today I'm going to tell you guys why you should buy Windows 8. Now you might be asking, well, you just made a video on why you shouldn't buy Windows 8. Why are you making a video that you should buy Windows 8? Well, I'm trying to give my viewers a two-sided opinion on Windows 8. Now, of course, this is my opinion, this is my experiences with it, and I'm telling you my experiences with it, and I hope that you take this information from this video and my other video and make an informed decision on whether you should buy Windows 8 or you shouldn't buy Windows 8. It's going to be completely your decision, so don't think that me telling you to buy it or not to buy it is a valid excuse for you to buy it or not to buy it. And don't get mad at me because I'm making my opinions, because again, these are my opinions that I'm trying to help you figure out whether you should get Windows 8 or not. First off, one of the big things is the Metro, or Metro, because it's not really named Metro anymore, but that's still what I like to call it. People have been saying, well, I don't like Metro, and I think the main reason behind that is it's change. People hate change. They don't like change. They like things to stay as it is for as long as they possibly can. That's why people got really mad when their start button went away. There is no more start button anymore. You just hover in the bottom left-hand corner and it brings up a start menu. Now, people don't like it and people do like it. I think it's all right. I think just when you get to know the operating system, sure, it's all right, because for the first 5 minutes of me playing around with Windows 8, I had no clue where anything was. And I had to play around. I had to look through Windows 8. I had to read. I had to research. I had to play around with Windows 8. And as soon as I found out where the start menu was, how to use the corners, figuring out that I had to use the corners if I wanted to do anything like preferences or start menus, then sure, it got easier. It got a lot easier once I knew about everything. And that's going to be the thing with anybody, is once you find something that's different, you're going to need to relearn and how to use it. Now, I don't think that's all bad, because it kind of keeps your mind still going. That start menu, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be pissed about, because they're going to be like, there's no start button anymore. And yeah, there is no start button anymore. And there is no start menu anymore, really. All it is Metro's interface, the new tiled interface. And that's kind of like the start area. And that's also your home screen, and it's also everything. Sure, there's the desktop, but even in the desktop, there is no start menu. Now, talking about this interface, I think it's cool. It's neat, innovative. It gives use to your desktop. Because a lot of the times, your desktop is just a picture and a couple files on the desktop. Sure, there's people who way overuse the desktop and have tons of files all over the screen, but for the most part, people keep their desktops clear, and it's mostly wasted space. I see it as Microsoft trying to make use of that wasted space and giving you something nice to look at, giving you something that updates, giving you quick access to things that you might like to open a lot, play around with a lot. I think it's a nice interface when you're trying to look through multiple applications, and it definitely gives your screen a lot more usability over your regular desktop like I have here. I mean, because I don't really use my desktop. I use the quick launch bar, and that's it. So they're trying to make use of that bigger space, which I think is completely valid in the fact that it really works well. And I like how the tiles update. So if I had mail or I had news, they're always updating me, showing me new information. I love that, because I'm a person who doesn't like to go into applications and figure out if there's something new or not. That's why I mostly liked OS X, because it showed me these little pop-up bubbles that said, you have 2 notifications. And I knew that I could go in there, find something new or do something new, and have something to do, rather than I'd have these little inanimate icons on my taskbar that did nothing. I think that's very innovative for them that it updates. Now, a lot of people complain about it, but I kind of like it. One of the other things that I kind of like is the App Store. You see, everything else out here has an App Store. Mobile has App Stores. Apple has app stores on their desktop version, so I think it's a logical reasoning for Microsoft now to have an app store. And looking through the apps in there, they're very useful. They would encourage a lot of people to buy more, and it's great to have this digital download service that's run by the company who makes the operating system, because you have these applications like Steam or Origin, for example, and you're buying software or games, I mean, you can't really rely on it that much to be updated and be compatible with your version. So it's made by Microsoft, maintained by Microsoft, so you know that you're gonna get it always up to date. And I like that. The marketplace is great for that. I think it makes it a nice place to sell applications. I'm sure a lot of in-app purchases and a lot of in-operating system purchases are going to skyrocket now with this new interface in Windows 8. So it'll be beneficial for a lot of people if you're making applications for Windows 8 and you're possibly going to sell it. I think that's a perfect selling point for Windows 8, is that you can go in there, get applications, and have them downloaded directly to your folder. Now, in the way of price, people have been saying, well, Apple sells their operating system for 30 bucks. Why are you selling it for 80 or 100? Well, you got to think about something real quick. Apple sells their computers at a very, very, very high price, and that high price helps them compensate their loss with the software. 30 bucks per software, great, but that cost is probably made up elsewhere. Through the hardware, through the price on what you're paying for the computer, kind of compensates out for the price of their operating system. Now, of course, Microsoft is always about bringing you very cheap computers that you can afford, the average consumer can afford. So the reason why it's so high is because they're going to be making 100% of their cost from the software, whereas Apple controls the hardware and the software. They get the money from the hardware and they get the money from the software, whereas Microsoft, all of their money is coming from the software. So you got to look at it at that point where they're trying to make their money. Sure, they're trying to make their money because they're trying to make a better product for you. And I've always been about the notion that if somebody makes a good product that you like to use, I'm going to pay for it. And same thing with Windows 8. Sure, it's a high price, but I'm paying for something that I like to use. Now I've got Windows 7 installed on the computer behind me, and it may be upgraded to Windows 8 when it comes out. I know I'm definitely going to try it with the VMs, but I think some of my applications that I have to use on a daily basis are going to keep me back, but I'm sure they're going to be updated in the future for it. So I'm not very worried about that part. Definitely going to get a copy and have it ready to go when I need it. And I think that basically wraps up, generalizes all the things that I hope to convince you guys to buy Windows 8, to give you another side on getting Windows 8. Because that's one of the big things. Well, should I get Windows 8 or not? Well, it's your decision. I just gave you the reasons why you should. Now go and check out the other video on why you shouldn't buy Windows 8, and then make an informed decision and possibly buy it. So if you have any questions for me, email me, Creighton@LogicLounge.com. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, all under the username of LogicLounge. And until our next video, we'll see you guys later.